Hey everyone, how's it going? JD Strategic here. I hope everyone's doing great today. We got a storm coming in Florida. Show you guys that. Quick video today. I just want to talk about happiness. I think this is a pretty interesting topic and just one that I want to explore with you guys today is just how you go from not feeling happy, how you have those feelings of anxiety, maybe depression, you're just kind of down on yourself, to how you kind of change those habits. And one thing that I think is really important to acknowledge is that happiness isn't really just something that is given. It's something that you have to work on, you know? At least for me, you know, some people are just naturally happy people and just have that within them. But for me, it's something that I have to work on. And if I'm not putting in like the daily steps, And if I'm not putting in the daily steps so that I can feel happy, I'm really just not even giving myself a chance. So what does that mean? That means going to the gym, you know. Physical exercise really translates to my mental health, and I feel a lot better about myself. And it doesn't have to be some crazy workout. Even just going for a few minutes does feel a lot better for me. Number 2, vitamin D. A lot easier down in Florida, but just going outside and even just going for a walk or something like that, sitting outside for a little bit, that vitamin D really does go such a long way. So just making like little changes, I feel like goes such a long way, especially when you're feeling down. If you can get yourself into the gym, just going for a few minutes, I feel like eventually your workouts, you'll get more into it and you start to challenge yourself more and you start to want to go to the gym a lot more. So something else that I think can kind of help when you're not feeling as uplifted, it really is just kind of forcing yourself to really go out there. And one thing I would suggest is really getting a job. I've talked about this a lot lately, I feel like, and it's really just getting a job means you kind of have that sense of purpose. You're working with other people, so you're getting outside the house, you're building that sense of community. You know, even if your work doesn't have that much meaning, you are in some way kind of helping the company. So having that purpose, I feel like, goes a long way. And then when you do start to have those goals as a company, like you start to kind of reevaluate and start to think about yourself, and then you'll start to think about your own goals and what you want. So I think getting that job and kind of just putting yourself out there can kind of make a difference towards your own goals, and you kind of start to self-reflect a lot more. But ultimately, it really does come down to realizing that, you know, when you're not happy, it's not just like, it's just not something that's like natural, you know, it's not on you. You need to just stop blaming yourself. It's not your fault. You just need to start making these daily changes. And if you could just make little changes, I really do think it goes a long way. You know, for me, especially during 2020, you know, there was a lot of isolation. We weren't able to do anything. You know, my internship ended up being completely remote. You know, all my plans were changed, and my mental health just went down the drain. I wasn't going to the gym. You know, I wasn't leaving the house, so I wasn't living up to my full self potential. So I didn't feel as confident in myself. You know, I wasn't as happy on a day-to-day basis. I had these feelings of anxiety, and that was just a result of me not living up to my full potential. I wasn't taking the daily steps to feel proud of myself. You know, I wasn't proud of myself, and that's just because I wasn't living up to what I would describe as my full potential. And that just means taking the daily steps, and that you need to realize, you know, it's not going to change overnight, but if you can just start to make these daily changes, you know, the days, the weeks, the months go by, and then you've made a lot bigger changes. You know, if you can challenge yourself, maybe do something for 30 straight days, I really do think something like that will go a long way. So it's just trying to find different ways to challenge yourself. And this may mean reading a book, listening to a new podcast. You know, you start to gain these new perspectives. So if you can just kind of gain new perspectives, then you start to, you know, maybe you'll have empathy for other people or some gratitude for some other situation, and you start to realize, oh, I want to do this or that. But there's so many different ways you can go with it. I think that's everything I want to talk about today. Just the importance of realizing that happiness isn't really something that just comes natural to everyone. it really is for a lot of people. It's something that you have to really work on. So that just means taking the daily steps. You know, if you can just make that small change. So if I challenge everyone, just when you're going to bed tonight, what's that something that you can do tomorrow? Just try something new, and I really do think it'll go a long way. So thank you everyone for tuning in. JD Strategic out.